All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Detroit Lions rookie edge defender Isaac Ukwu. This is a guy who's come out of nowhere to have himself a really nice camp, a really nice preseason, and he's got a chance if he makes this roster, and I think he should, to be a contributor for this Lions defense both in the future and beyond. And we've got a great set of cut-ups to highlight exactly what Ukwu could bring. As always, if you appreciate this content, give us a like, give us any comments with any feedback you might have. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, we're going to open up with a pass rush, and there's Ukwu right there, number 45 on the left side of your screen. Obviously, it's a passing situation. They're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. No running back in the backfield, empty set. You can see they walked up the linebacker in the gap right there. We've got five guys basically acting like they're going to rush with five offensive linemen. So up front, you know you're going to get one-on-one matchups across the board. And Ukwu knows he's going to get one-on-one right here with this left tackle. In this situation, when you're in one-on-one deals just like this, a lot of young defenders, they try and do crazy stuff. They try and go outside, then do a spin move, then a counter spin move. They just get a lot of crazy stuff, and they don't take advantage of this opportunity. When you get one-on-one, the best move you could possibly do is a little speed to power. That's exactly what Ukwu does here. Results in a huge play for this Lions defense. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the linebacker backed out right there, but we're still going to get one-on-one at left tackle on Ukwu right there. Watch Ukwu transition, a little speed of power, blow into the quarterback, force fumble. Great rep here. Again, watch what he does here. He gets up the field vertically, forces this tackle to get into a wide set, and once this tackle gets a little off balance, you see how this left tackle's heels are close together, his base isn't great. Ukwu then transitions into his bull rush move right into him, attacking the back of the quarterback's shoulder right there. That's exactly where you want to be. You don't want to be too far inside. If you get too far up the field and inside, the quarterback could maybe escape out this way. You don't want to go too far outside because then the quarterback can step up in the pocket. Ukwu maintains great depth right here, goes right through the offensive lineman, drives him into the quarterback, force fumble. Again, taking advantage of the opportunity. You get one-on-one right there. You got to win it, and Ukwu comes up with a big win for this Lions defense.
Yeah, and Ukwu is a guy who really has been very consistent in the pass rush game all season, but he really had a standout in this game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. 70.7 pass rush grade for him. I think he's looking really nice. And the thing I like about him most is consistency through all three games. He's had one sack in each game, so a guy who can really make something happen.
All right, going the other way now, and there's Ukwu this time on the right side of your screen, and obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers, the first play, they were in a pass formation. This is obviously with a bunch of tight ends and everyone bunched in close, a run formation, and it's going to be a downhill running scheme here. Right tackle is going to base the defensive end right there. Right guard's working up there. Center is going to be one-on-one right here. We're going to get double team action between the left tackle and left guard working into linebacker. Tight end right here is going to insert for this linebacker. Ukwu is going to get a one-on-one block right here with that tight end. Receiver is going to insert right there. And it's going to be a downhill scheme right at the point of attack just like this. Folks, I want you guys to watch Ukwu in this situation right here. This is an opportunity when you're on the inside leverage of this tight end right here. Basically, what they're trying to do offensively, they're trying to see if they can wash you inside, get one-on-one right here and have this running back attack this way and then bounce out. That's the whole concept. If you're the defender in this situation where Ukwu is, you got to get penetration and then play off the block either left or right to make the tackle. This is a phenomenal rep for this young defensive end. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see center taking that nose guard right there. Right tackle working out defensive end. Right guard working up to linebacker. Double team to 52 occurring for the Steelers right there. Tight end inserting for 59. You can see Ukwu right there. One-on-one on this tight end right here. And Ukwu does a great job. Get off right there. Gets his hands into the chest. Gets great penetration. That's what you need. But right here, he gets washed down a little bit. You can see the other receiver inserting for that corner safety. And you can see potentially a one-on-one right here with a lot of green grass with this running back. Right here, the offense thinks they have a win. But let's watch Ukwu here play off this block and then make a really nice play. That's how you get it done right there. Because this DB right here, number 27, he's taught. He's like, okay, I'm outside. I have got to force him back into my help. And your help has to be there, and that help has to be Ukwu, and he gets it done. Look, he's been productive in the pass rush game. We talked about the fact he's got a sack in all three of the preseason games so far, and that's obviously outstanding. But I really like his run defense, his ability to play off tight ends at the point of attack, getting penetration, and then finding the runner, getting him down to the ground. Great rep here from Isaac Ukwu. Let's take a look at it from the wide copy right here. Watch him get into this tight end. Look at that penetration. Look at what this line of scrimmage is. See how the movement, the offensive line for the Steelers gets. You see the tight end, see how where everyone is downfield. Let's look at where the original line of scrimmage is, right at the 20-yard line. Look where Ukwu drives his tight end all the way back to. all the way back to around the 18, 2 yards of penetration. Great work there. The running back, though, he can jump cut, get outside. Number 27's there to force him back inside. And then Ukwu comes off and makes a tackle. Outstanding rep from Ukwu. And here's where the penetration really matters. So let's say Ukwu gets washed down right at the line of scrimmage right here. That means this running back gets to wait longer before he cuts. See how the running back has to cut up to 16? If he can wait to cut till about the 18, 19-yard line, it will force the DB to have to react later than expected. That may be a win for the running back. So not only does Ukwu make the tackle here, his penetration at the beginning of the play really helped out his buddy right there. Overall, once again, outstanding rep from Isaac Ukwu. All right, going back to the running game, and there's Ukwu right there on the right side of your screen at right defensive end for the Detroit Lions. And this is an example of a time when a defender can do your job exceptionally well and do everything perfectly, and you still aren't able to stop the offense. So this is going to be a wide zone concept here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, working to the right side of your screen there, running back working this direction right here. You can see the receiver coming in motion just like this. His job is to hold all these linebackers and safeties in place just like that. We're going to get offensive line up here. We're going to do an zone scheme track. We're going to get reaching right here. We're going to get zone double team action right here, working up to the next level. We're going to get backside cutoffs right here across the board. And again, it's a zone track for the running back. Normally how this is supposed to work, if you're the defensive end right here in Ukwu, you're supposed to get up the field and set the edge, force a hard edge this way, forcing the running back before he can get too wide to cut back into your help. And usually when you're able to do that successfully, the play doesn't work, right? The whole point of a zone scheme is that they want to get these three guys right here flying this way, and then they cut behind them. If you set a hard edge like Ukwu does here, running back can't go that far, and usually your help gets there. Unfortunately, it's the preseason, of course. The help doesn't really get there, ends up being a big play for the Steelers, but Ukwu does a really nice job. Let's check it out. There's the motion. There's a snap. You can see the zone scheme track across the board for the Steelers offensive line. You can see the left tackle trying to reach Ukwu, but right there, folks, that is perfect technique. You see feet, parallel line of scrimmage. You see he's on the outside side of the tackle right there with his hands in his chest. That is setting that hard edge. That is perfect. The running back has no choice. You see, he even gets a little bit of penetration there as well. Running back has no choice but to cut it up. The problem is 94, 25, 59, all the other guys for Lions defense get absolutely blocked and completely blown out of the way. Ends up being a touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But again, it's the preseason, right? You got a lot of backups out there. You got young guys out there, right? It's never going to be perfect in the preseason. Ukwu does his job right there, forcing him back inside to his help. Unfortunately, 94 can't come off the block. 25 gets completely blown out of the way. Backside linebackers and safeties don't get there. Across the board, really poor job by the rest of the Lions defense, to be totally honest. But again, Ukwu, perfect. Set the edge. This is what you want. And I guarantee you, Aaron Glenn, Dan Campbell, defensive coaches, they'll look at this and say, hey, this gets it done right here. Because during the regular season, you're going to have obviously your better linebackers. You're going to have your Campbells of the world. You're going to have your Anzalonis of the world. You're going to have better guys on the interior, obviously, that are going to blow this play out. But if you have to put Ukwu in a game and know, like, hey, can this guy set the edge? This play is an example of he certainly can.
Yeah, Nick, and I think this is one of the strongest assets of a guy like Ukwu. He's pretty good at everything. If you look across the board this year, 60.9 defensive grade overall, 62.8 run defense grade, 61.8 pass rushing grade, the 74.6 tackling grade. This guy is pretty good at everything. He can be a solid run defender. He can be a solid pass rusher. I think overall he's a very good asset for the Lions to have on this depth chart.
All right, sticking with the running game, there's Ukwu right there once again on the right side of your screen as the right defensive end. It's going to be an outside run concept here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The tight end's going to try and reach Ukwu. We're going to get offensive linemen trying to reach up to the next level, reaching there, cutoffs there on the backside, right? All this kind of stuff right here. And again, Ukwu in this situation, he is outside contained. Once again, his responsibility is to set the edge in this situation and not get reached. He doesn't do nearly as good on this play as he did on the prior example, but it's an example of even when Ukwu doesn't do perfectly in terms of his technique, he still helps out his defense. He's still able to get penetration, reset the line of scrimmage, force the running back to correct, which allows his help to make the play this time. Let's check it out. A little motion there. Outside zone concept, and right there, Ukwu, see how his head's inside on this play, and on the previous play was outside? That's a mistake. Cannot happen on the edge right there. But watch his ability to get penetration. Again, the ball was snapped right around about a yard upfield from this 5-yard denominator. Look where Ukwu drives this guy back, right? About another 2 yards back. That penetration right there, and then coming off right there, and then forcing this running back to bubble out this wide is as good as the holding the edge right there to make the tackle limited run. Again, in a perfect world, technique-wise, it should be a lot like the previous play. Head on the outside shoulder, feet parallel to line of scrimmage, hands in chest. He's got about 2 of the 3 opportunities there, but his head's inside, so that's not ideal. But I tell you what, the fact that he's so physical, getting penetration, forcing running backs to course correct, I think that's going to be a really valuable addition to this Lions defense, either this year or in the future. Now, look, obviously, they've got a really nice edge defender at Aiden Hutchinson, a lot of quality veteran guys as well at that position. But if you got to go into a game, maybe it's a game where you've got a few guys banged up, or maybe it's late in the season, you want to rest some bodies in certain situations and certain, down and distance deals. You got to have young guys you can rely on that can come in and execute, make plays. And I think Ukwu is a great example of one of those guys, again, creating penetration at the point of attack, letting his guys make plays on the outside. Let's take a look at it from the wide copy. Watch the penetration he gets. Contact made right there. Watch him walk back this offensive lineman, fight off the block, and again, forcing that running back to bubble out, right? You can see the running back where his initial track is right there. See how at this snap, watch his track. He immediately has to widen and flatten out. He wants to get downhill quickly because he sees Ukwu. He has to kind of bubble out around it just like that. Right there, you can see he has to widen out. Right here, he wants to get north and south. He can't because Ukwu's there. Again, not perfect. He should have done a better job setting the edge. But even when it's not perfect, Ukwu still gives his guys a chance. And I think the Lions coaching staff will really appreciate that. All right, switching up the game for you guys here. This time it's Ukwu. There he is on the left side of your screen against the New York Giants in that preseason matchup. And it's going to be a one-on-one pass rush here for Ukwu, one-on-one on this left tackle right here. And again, we've seen Ukwu do some good things in the run game. Obviously, he's got some things to work on. We saw a sack fumble earlier in this cut-up. And this is another example of Ukwu, this time showcasing his speed, also his intensity and effort, results in a big-time sack. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the one-on-one pass rush between the left tackle and Ukwu. Let's walk through Ukwu's technique right here. I love how he attacks it vertically first and immediately then tries to work through that tackle with that inside hand right there, attacking to the tackle's chest. Now, this tackle has long arms, right? He's got great physical tools. Forces Ukwu to separate right there. And that right there, 9 times out of 10 will result in a tackle winning the rep. But Ukwu keeps working, and ends up getting the sack. Again, this is actually, in my opinion, if I was grading number 75 for the New York Giants, I'd say this isn't a loss, right? You did pretty good there. Obviously you'd like to stay on Ukwu a little longer if you're talking about the Giants guy right there, not the Jets, excuse me. But overall, I'd say that's not terrible. But when you have a guy like Ukwu, constant motor, constant drive, constantly moving, attacking the ball carrier, you're going to get plays like this. And this reminds me of just classic Detroit Lion, Dan Campbell football, right? Fighting for every inch, scratching for every yard, or even if you lose the play after 1 second, right? You're losing after 2 seconds. You're losing after 2.5. You're still fighting so you can make the play at 3.5. And that's exactly what Ukwu can bring as well. And I think that's one of the reasons why I think the Lions should and will keep him around. I think he's built in the mold of what the Lions are looking for all their defensive players, and he can be very productive as well. All right, going back to the running game, and there's Ukwu right there on the right side of your screen. And this is what I call a check the box kind of play. So here Ukwu is going to be handled an assignment where number 84 receiver, tight end, I mean, maybe he's tight end in position, but stylistically he's more of a receiver. Handle that responsibility to block Ukwu in the running game. If you're going to be a defensive end in the National Football League edge defender and you're handling this matchup, you've got to dominate it, right? You've got to check the box. You've got to win this outright. And that's exactly what Ukwu's tasked with right here, because it's going to be a kind of cool inside run concept here for the New York Giants. They're actually going to have the tackle work up to the next level. They're going to have the guard pull and kick out this defensive end. They're going to get a base block here. And then what I think is supposed to be a double team this direction, working up to that linebacker. It's kind of a weird action at the point of attack. But again, Ukwu is going to be one-on-one on this receiver / tight end. Now, he is the edge outside contain. He's got to make sure he maintains this gap, sets the edge there. But he also has to just dominate this matchup. Again, you got to check this box here if you're Ukwu. Fortunately, he does. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the kind of the cool action in there. Tackle working to linebacker, guard pulling, kicking out defensive end, center one-on-one, and like a weird double team action. I don't know exactly what's going on there from the New York Giants. I mean, I get it. It's the preseason, maybe a miscommunication. That's kind of a goofy stance there, all things considered. But let's go back to Ukwu. Let's watch him against 84. Again, you need to dominate this matchup. Boom, throw him inside, drive him inside, maintain outside contain. That's exactly what you want to do right here. Now, again, there's technically little things to work on, right? You like him to be a little bit more parallel to the line of scrimmage in terms of his feet, but he's just absolutely blowing up this poor kid, driving him inside, humiliating him at the point of attack, to be totally honest, extends with his arms, makes the tackle right there. Again, that's high-level football. That's great stuff there from Ukwu. That's what you need to do. That's checking the box. That's getting it done. I guarantee you, the Aaron Glenn, Lions coaching staff, they said, okay, in this matchup, let's see how Ukwu does. He should dominate it. And the fact that he went out there and did dominate and be this very physically dominant in terms of winning this rep, I think is a great sign for the future of this young edge defender.
Yeah, Nick, and we talk about Uku, we talk about what he does good. I really like how he makes the most of each opportunity, each tackle he makes. Throughout the preseason, he had 5 tackles. All 5 of those tackles were considered stops per PFF, which is a tackle that is a failure for the offense. And out of those 5, as I alluded to earlier, 3 of those were sacks. 1 was a forced fumble. This guy really makes the most out of every opportunity. He seems like a guy that can make tons of plays for this Lions team.
All right, switching up the game for our last play. It's the Lions matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, and there's Uku right there on the right side of your screen. This is just going to be a standard pass rush here. Everyone's just doing their one-on-one opportunities here for the Lions. Edge rushers coming off the edge, defensive tackles working in their respective gaps as well. I'm going to give a lot of credit to Aaron Glenn, by the way. We see a lot of defensive coaches. They try and come up with elaborate stuff in the preseason. We see a lot of stunts. We see a lot of funky games. See a lot of weird stuff happen sometimes, and that blitzes coming off the edge, all kind of weird stuff. Aaron Glenn kept it very, very vanilla, which can sometimes make it hard for defenders to pad their stats in the preseason. I appreciate him for doing that in terms of a coach. Save your best stuff for the regular season. But when you look at this play in terms of Ukwu, right? Again, he doesn't win the rep in terms of one-on-one out the gate. Nobody does, right? The Chiefs offensive line, they do a really good job protecting this up front. But Ukwu's effort, his intensity, his desire, all those things, again, that Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions mentality, this is the quintessential example of that. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. Again, you can see one-on-one pass rush across the board. No funky stunts, no funky games. Chiefs bringing in some people to block. They had chips on the edge defenders. So, again, it's going to be a tough opportunity for the Detroit Lions to get some pass rush. And the Chiefs offensive line does a pretty good job, right? Quarterback's a clean pocket, plenty of time. Coverage does a good job downfield. But I want you guys to watch 45 and just his next level effort throughout this entire play. Fights through the chip, gets blocked, fights through the block, keeps working, keeps driving, eventually gets by him, forces the quarterback outside the pocket, keeps working, keeps chasing down, and ends up getting the sack right there. Again, you talk about next level effort. You talk about intensity. You talk wanting to play football at the highest level. That's what Ukwu brings, folks. Again, we showed him good against the running game for the most part. Some technical things to clean up. Obviously, his great bull rush in the past game. We saw that sack fumble against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but his effort, his intensity, his drive is next level as well. Look at it from the wide copy at the top of your screen. Watch him fight through right there. Keep working, keep driving, keep fighting through. Eventually, he gets through. Quarterback cuts inside, finishes the rep. Huge play for the defense. Again, this is outstanding work, outstanding effort, conditioning, all that stuff. By the way, I'm not so sure right here that Ukwu doesn't beat this tackle inside if that guard isn't there to kind of save him a little bit. I think Ukwu actually had a really good move right here. Inside move right there. He may have beaten that tackle and gotten pressure anyway. But regardless of that, Ukwu keeps fighting, keeps working, and ends up getting the sack when it's all said and done. That next level effort. Again, you see people kind of jogging, walking around. Offensive linemen are tired. They're kind of just walking around. Ukwu, he gets a little tired there, but he's able to finish the play. Nice rep for number 45. This is a guy I think who shouldn't be on the Lions roster. I think he's a valuable piece. I think he's got a bright future in the NFL. I think he'll be a great addition to this Lions defense.